College life is not just about attending classes and passing exams. It is a personal journey of growth, discipline, and self-discovery. Every student faces challenges like adjusting to new schedules, managing deadlines, dealing with distractions, or balancing academics with social life. Personally, I also encounter my own set of challenges, reminding me that life is a journey of growth and learning, not just for others but for myself as well. Because of these challenges, it is not enough to simply know who you are. As a learner, you also have to know how you learn best. The ability to manage your own learning by reflecting on what works for you and what doesn't helps you succeed not only in school but also in life. This brings us to the very important concept, metacognition or thinking about thinking. So what is metacognition? In simple terms, metacognition means being aware of how you think and learn. It is your ability to step back and ask yourself questions such as, how well do I understand this topic? Is my current study method effective? What can I do differently next time? Metacognition means being aware of your own thinking and your learning process. It means you self-check your brain to improve how you learn. So why metacognition matters? First, it helps you learn smarter, not harder. Second, it makes you aware of your own strengths and weaknesses. And third, it guides you to choose the right study strategies for each task. According to Livingstone 1997, metacognition is thinking about thinking. It is the basic meaning of metacognition. It means you are aware what is happening inside your mind while you learn. Instead, you study automatically. You pause and check, do I understand this topic? Is my brain getting confused? Is my strategy working? So let's say you're reading a book. Without metacognition, you just read the words. Even if you don't fully understand, you keep going. But with metacognition, or thinking about thinking, you notice your mind wandered or getting confused. You stop and tell yourself, I don't seem to understand this part. I need to read it again, or maybe I need to take notes to remember this. This means you are monitoring and adjusting your thinking to learn better. It involves two important aspects. First is the metacognitive knowledge. It means what you know about learning. It is your understanding of your own learning processes, your strengths, and weaknesses. It is about being aware of how you learn and what strategies are effective for you. Metacognitive knowledge is divided into three components. First is the knowledge of cognitive abilities. It means knowing your strengths and weaknesses as a learner. For example, I remember visual better than text. Knowledge of cognitive abilities, it means understanding how you think, learn, and process info. It is like knowing your brain's strengths and weaknesses. This means being aware of what you are good at, what you find difficult, and how your brain works best. For example, you can focus on tasks for a long time but you are easily distracted. You can remember names, lessons, or steps quickly but you forget things unless repeated. You are quick at math but you need help when it comes to writing. The second component of metacognitive knowledge is the knowledge of tasks. It means understanding the nature of the task. For example, this topic is heavy, so I need to review examples. Another example is you are given an assignment or performance task to create a video presentation about climate change. You know that you need to research the causes and effects of climate change. You need to organize ideas about solutions and actions to take. You also need a script and then practice your presentation so you can explain the topic clearly. And you need to edit the video and then add visuals like images about climate change impacts. This shows that you are aware of the task requirements and can plan accordingly, which is a key part of managing your learning effectively. The third component of metacognitive knowledge is the knowledge of strategies. It means recognizing the strategies or methods that works best for you. Examples are creating a mind map helps me connect concepts faster, using flashcard to memorize vocabulary words, making an outline before writing an essay, creating a schedule to manage time effectively.
For number 2, we have metacognitive regulation. Now I will explain metacognitive regulation, which simply means what we do to manage our own learning. It involves three major processes, which is planning, monitoring, and evaluating. First we have is planning. This is where we set our goals and choose the best strategies before we start studying. For example, creating a study schedule, deciding what topics to focus on first, or preparing the materials we need. Planning helps us start with direction and purpose. Next is monitoring. Monitoring happens while we are learning. This means checking if we actually understand the material. We can do this by asking ourselves questions, summarizing what we have just learned, or testing ourselves with practice questions. Monitoring helps us see if our strategy is working or if we need to adjust. Last one, which is evaluating. Evaluating takes place after we finish our studying. Here, we reflect on how effective our approach was. We think about what helped us remember concepts best, what didn't work, and what we can improve next time. This reflection helps us become better learners over time. So, metacognitive regulation is about planning our learning, monitoring our understanding, and evaluating our results. These three steps guide us to study smarter, not harder. So here we have the four levels learners of metacognitive learners by Perkins 1992. So the four level learners is number 1 we have tacit learners, number 2 aware learners, number 3 strategic learners, and number 4 reflective learners. So for number 1 we have tacit learners. Tacit learners study without reflecting on how they learn. They simply read or memorize and hope for the best. For example, a tacit learner rereads their notes repeatedly before an exam without checking if they really understand the content. Number 2, aware learners. Aware learners recognize some of their thought processes. They know when a topic is difficult, but they do not always plan or adjust their study methods. For example, a student realizes a topic is confusing, but still continues reading in the same way even if it's not helping. Number 3, strategic learners. Strategic learners use specific topics intentionally, such as note-taking, summarizing, organizing information, and taking practice tests. For example, a student uses flashcards, summaries, and practice quizzes to prepare for the exam. Number 4 we have is reflective learners. Reflective learners constantly evaluate and refine their learning strategies. They think about what works and what doesn't so they can improve. Example, reflective learners test themselves, identifies weak areas, focuses on improving them, and adjusts their study methods for better results. So, for example and a comparison, we have is a tacit learner and a reflective learner. A tacit learner might reread their notes repeatedly before an exam, while a reflective learner, on the other hand, tests themselves, identifies weak areas, and adjusts their study strategy, leading to deeper understanding and better retention.
Good day everyone, my name is Ashley Nicole P. LUMAPAS, and today we are going to discuss about metacognitive strategies for college students. According to Connie Malamio 2013, successful learners often use the following strategies. First, knowing your limits. Second, modifying your approach. Third, self-monitoring. Fourth, skimming. Fifth, rehearsing. And the last but not the least, self-testing. Let's start with knowing yourself. Be realistic about what you can handle in one setting. Don't cram, space your study session. This means you know how your brain works best. Instead of trying to force 8 hours of studying right before a test, or what we call cramming, you know you'll forget everything. The better way is to break it up, maybe study for 2 hours today and 2 hours tomorrow, then 2 hours again in the next day. It's about respecting your brain's need for breaks and time to absorb new information. And simple idea, for example, a pizza. Don't try to eat a whole pizza in one bite. Eat a slice now and maybe eat a slice later. Second one is modifying your approach. If reading doesn't help, try summarizing or explaining the topic aloud. If you're reading the same textbook page over and over and still don't get it, that method isn't working. A successful learner recognizes this and changes what they're doing. If your reading is a fail, try summarizing the main idea in your own words, or maybe teaching the topic out loud to an empty chair, or maybe to your friend or to yourself. Then last, drawing a diagram to explain the concept. And simple idea, if the front door is locked, try the back door instead of pushing harder on the front one. Third one is self-monitoring. Check your understanding regularly by asking yourself questions or using flashcards. This is about constantly asking yourself, do I actually understand this? It's like a mental checkup. Instead of waiting until the exam to find out you're confused, you check your understanding while you're learning. How to do it? Stop after a paragraph and ask, what was the main point here? Or can I define this term right now? Fourth is skimming. Identify key points from long readings before deep diving. Before you read every single word of a long chapter, take a few minutes to skim it. Read the headings, look at the pictures, read the captions, and check the first and last sentences of paragraphs. This gives you a mental map of the topic before you dive into the details. And simple idea, looking at the table of contents and chapter titles before you start reading a book. Fifth, rehearsing. Repetition helps with mastering, especially for formulas, processes, or even speeches. This is using repetition to solidify information in your memory. It's especially useful for things you need to memorize perfectly, like math formulas, steps in scientific process, or the main points of a speech. Repeating them over time helps move them from short-term memory to long-term memory. In simple idea, an actor running their lines over and over until they can say them perfectly without thinking. The last but not the least is self-testing. Use quizzes or mock exams to gauge your readiness. This is the most powerful strategy. It's not just about seeing what you know, the act of forcing your brain to retrieve the answer, like during a quiz, strengthens the memory. You should try to mimic the real test, use practice quizzes, do questions at the end of the chapter, or write your own mock exam. For example, a basketball player practicing free throws in an empty gym, or the self-testing so they can make them during the actual game. All these strategies are about taking charge of your own learning. They move you from being a passive learner or just sitting and reading to an active learning, thinking, checking, and adjusting.
Gaudy ma'am, I am Sergeant B. OBSID Hori Fort. The practical study techniques. Number 1. Skimming. Quickly identify main ideas and get an overview of the material. Skimming is like read titles, headings, and summarize. Focus on keywords and main concept. Spend 5 to 10 minutes skimming before detailed study. Number 2. Highlighting. Emphasize key points for quick reference. Highlighting is use different colors for main ideas, examples, a definition, review highlighted section periodically. Number 3 is note-taking. Create personal summarize for better understanding and retention. It is write brief, organize notes using bullet points, charts or minds up, review regularly. Number 4. Flashcards. This memory and reinforce key concepts. Flashcards is write question on one side and answered on the other used during search breaks. Number 5 is active recall. Strengthen memory by retrieving information without prompts. It is about close your books and recite what you learn. Write down an answer from memory. Number 6 is practice problems, applying knowledge and identity learning's gaps. It is solve exercise, pass exams, review errors.
Mock testing. Its purpose is to simulate exam condition. Means practicing by taking tests that feels like the real exam. How to apply. Take timed tests without notes, then review and correct answers. Like pretend you are writing the real test, do it without notes. Afterwards, check your mistakes so you can learn from them. Next technique is planning and time management. Its purpose is to organize study tasks efficiently. Means organizing your study tasks so you don't waste time. How to apply. Make a weekly study plan, prioritize hard topics, reflect and adjust. Like make a weekly study plan, decide which subject or topics you must study first. After each week, check what worked and adjust your plan if needed. Next technique is group study. Its purpose is to encourage collaborative learning. Means studying with others to share ideas and learn together. How to apply. Form small groups, assign topics for discussion, clarify difficult concepts together. Like form a small group with friends, each person can prepare a topic and explain it to others. Help each other understand difficult parts. So next technique is Mnemonics. Its purpose is to improve memory through patterns or visual. Means memory tricks that can help you remember things. So how to apply? Create acronyms, rhymes, or image recall sequences. Like use acronyms, rhymes, or pictures to remember lists or steps. For example, using a funny sentence to recall the order of something. Next technique is Pomodoro Technique. Its purpose is to manage time effectively and prevent burnout. Means a way to study in short, focused periods to avoid burnout. And how to apply. Study for 25 minutes, take a 5 minutes break, then repeat after 4 sessions, take a longer break. Next technique is mind mapping. Its purpose is to organize information. Visual means showing information in a visual way. How to apply. Place the main topic at the center. Branch out related ideas. Use colors and image. Like write your main topic in the center of a page, then draw a branch for related ideas. Use colors and small drawings to make it clearer. Next technique is Q3R, or the survey question, read, recite, review technique. Its purpose is to improve reading comprehension. Means a method to understand and remember what you read. How to apply. Survey material, form question. Read for answer, recite key ideas, and review content regularly. Like, first, look over the material, then create questions to read to find the answers, say or write the key ideas, and review them often.